Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Richelle Parham, President of Global E-Commerce and Business Development, Universal Music Group.
Well. How are we doing out here? Are you excited to be in this room to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Def Jam? So I'm so excited to be with you all today. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to what promises to be an enlightening and inspiring discussion. As you heard, my name is Richelle Parham. I'm President of Global E-Commerce and Business Development at Universal Music Group. Today, we've come together to explore the profound impact of Def Jam and how it influenced American films. Over the years, Def Jam has not only shaped the landscape of music, but has also left the indelible mark on the film industry. Through a series of carefully curated clips, we'll journey through some iconic movies that have defined our culture, featuring the unforgettable soundtracks that have become the backdrop of our lives. From the social justice themes in The Hate U Give, to the empowerment and cultural pride showcased in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, we'll see how music and film together have moved us, inspired us, reflected our lives right back to us. Join me today as we delve into the intersection of music, film, and culture with some of the brilliant minds and voices who have contributed to this legacy. Welcome to How to Be a Legend, the Def Jam legacy in cinema. So I'm not doing this alone. This is not about me. This is about the esteemed panels that we have here today. First, let's welcome Jeff Harleston, General Counsel and Executive Vice President of Business and Legal Affairs at Universal Music Group. Jeff! He's also my friend. During his tenure at UMG, he has also served as president of Def Jam Recordings. Jeff is co-founder of UMG's Task Force for Meaningful Change, an organization formed to identify, coordinate, and implement social change initiatives specifically directed at Black and Latino communities. Next, I'd like to welcome Dr. Charlene Thomas, a distinguished executive in the entertainment industry. Charlene is the Vice President of Marketing at Def Jam. Her illustrious career is marked by pivotal roles at Loud Records, Rockefeller Records, and Slip and Slide Records. In 2024, Charlene was named a Billboard Women in Music honoree and received the Advertising Club of New York's Icon Award. Next, for more than 2 decades, Jadakiss has been a hip-hop icon, a skilled lyricist, a revered and respected in New York City and worldwide. The 3-time Grammy-nominated artist was featured on the soundtrack for the movie Belly and the song Tommy's Theme with the Lox, and Hold You Down in the film The Hate U Give. Outside of music, over the years, Jadakiss has become an entrepreneur with several businesses in his hometown of Yonkers, New York, including Juice Bar, a clothing store, as well as a website. There he is. And finally, renowned as the most sampled hip-hop artist in history and hip-hop's greatest storyteller, Slick Rick has set the pace for rap's past, present, and future. The Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award winner and 4-time multi-platinum rapper embodies a keen sense of style. This fashion icon, AKA The Ruler, as his alter ego goes by, is known for his brilliant wordplay, powerful imagination, and hilarious one-liners, making him the wittiest rapper of all time. Of the films featured today, Slick Rick is featured on the soundtrack for Rush Hour with the song Impress the Kid, and his music is featured in Do the Right Thing, The Nutty Professor with Children's Story, and Mona Lisa, respectively. There he is. Can you believe this, y'all? You see what we got up here, right? Legends. Legends. All right, so we're going to jump right in. Are y'all ready? And we're going to jump in hard, and we're going to jump in fast. Number one, because we're a little late, but number two, because we got a lot to say. So let's start with a very serious topic. Racial injustice is a critical and ongoing systemic crisis that has been powerfully depicted in cinema. Films like The Hate You Give offer poignant explorations of racial discrimination, systemic inequality, and the fight for justice within Black communities. Let's take a look at some impactful moments from the film. All right, Jadakiss, Hold You Down played such a critical part in The Hate You Give and that soundtrack altogether. The producers of the soundtrack have spoken about how they work to find music and artists that would not only hold honest conversations about racial injustice, but also bring to life the struggle that the character star faced in the movie and bring voice to her. Hold You Down brings those things to life for us with its emphasis on the need to support those you love, even in the most difficult times. Talk to the audience about your song and why it was so important to have it included in the soundtrack.
I think it was a blessing to have it included in the soundtrack, and I think you got to give kudos to the people that find the music that match the content and the texture of the film. After making the song and then it getting put in the film and then seeing how impactful it went with the film, I thought it was incredible. And holding you down is just something you need to do. You need to show gratitude to people you love, people that love you. As far as social injustice, we all need to hold them families down that go through them tragical moments and all the stuff we see in the world. So I think it was just a good fit at a good time. It's more kudos, like I said, to the producers of the film to actually find that music, because how many times have we seen films that we think are good, but the scores don't fit or the soundtrack is not appropriate? So that makes the movie is not as delightful as it could be. So I think this was just a perfect combination and perfect timing.
So 14 years before, you had another compelling song, which is Why. Can you talk to us about the inspiration behind that song and what it meant to you?
I think after the 9/11, the whole thing with 9/11, and me just being in a creative space, I always had these questions in my head that I thought the world, a lot of different people in the world, like they were common questions that had answers that not just people from one demographic wanted the answers for. So, when I put it out, again, it was perfect timing. After the 9/11 tragedies, it reached Bill O'Reilly, so I know it really landed on the desk of some of the higher powers. But yeah, just once again, just trying to ask some common questions for like-minded people around the world that I thought were common questions that a lot of people wanted the answers to, and it just happened to work. In music, timing is everything.
It's beautiful, thank you. Jeff, what role do you believe hip-hop plays in raising awareness to social issues of racial injustice and social change?
Yeah, I think that music in general has always had a role in raising awareness. Hip-hop's unique, though, because with hip-hop, it's so lyrically based, right? I mean, with obviously, you have these incredible beats, often very urgent in the way that they're presented. But what hip hop allows, it's the MC plays such an important role It gives them an opportunity to express themselves and become messengers. And oftentimes it's Jadakiss said something a second ago about 9/11, and he just was writing what people were feeling, and a lot of times hip hop is writing what people are feeling, and oftentimes it's a group of people that are perhaps looking around for somebody to help share that feeling, but it also gives the opportunity to give a message. Sometimes it's a call to action. Sometimes it's as much as simple as a message that's saying, you're not alone. We're in this together. Let me make you aware of something that's happening. And so I think that hip hop has a unique spot within the realm of music as a call for action. And you've seen it over the years. I go back to I'm an old person, right? So I go back to Gil Scott-Heron, okay, when the revolution will not be televised, because that spoke to me, right? So that as a little kid, and that's the kind of thing, you've seen that evolve over time, and I think it continues to this day.
And you say something so important here, which is sometimes people don't know what to do. And sometimes the words give meaning and help you to understand what is the step I need to take next.
And I'm not alone. I'm not alone in this feeling, right?
Absolutely. So Charlene, looking back at the role of Def Jam and what you've played in using music to highlight and address social issues in films, what were one or two songs that you think were the most impactful?
To add on to what Jeff said, our music is representative of our communities as well. And I think Public Enemy is a great artist and group that represented several times in which our voices needed to be heard, with songs like Fight the Power, that was in Do the Right Thing. And even from the movie The Hate You Give with Arlisa, her song We Won't Move, it was her words speaking to the communities to say, let's embrace love over hate, and that we're not going to move. So for both of those artists, I think they would be representative of sounds and music that were in soundtracks for social injustice for us.
And think about this, 30 years later, Fight the Power is still an anthem for social justice. Yes. Isn't that amazing? Since you called it up, I think we should watch a little bit. I think it's important to see where we were. Again, still powerful today, still sending the message. One thing I didn't notice before, and I've seen this film so many times, is one of the characters had on a Public Enemy t-shirt. Did y'all see that? You got to watch it again now, because I had on a Public Enemy. So this is really appropriate, actually, because we're moving on to our next topic. Let's talk about the evolution of hip-hop through fashion and film. Rick, you've been a trendsetter and an icon for hip-hop fashion for decades. Hello, don't we get a clap for that? We got to give you your props.
Thank you.
And you showed up today too, all right. Fashion is such a huge part of these films, and coincidentally, I have a personal connection to the intersection between fashion and film. So Frank Fleming is in the audience. He is a producer and costume designer, and he just happened to be the fashion consultant for the film Belly, as well as the costume designer for The Hate You Give. Frank, are you out there? If you are, give us a... All right, there he is. So speaking of Belly, let's take a look at some of the iconic fashion moments from the film. All right. So Rick, when you look at films like Belly, did you ever imagine that hip-hop style would have such an impact on fashion?
Yeah, I did, because it's like...
Yeah, you did.
It's like we the children of the elders, you know what I mean? So the elders had their little swag, so we got our swag too, you know? So we just bigged up with the ice and all that, you know? Colors, the clothes, it's all about mojo, you know what I mean? It's all about mojo, you know what I mean? So it's like animals, humans have to have mojo to attract each other, you know what I mean? So today's me and Jadakiss age, we was like this on this tip, you know what I'm saying? What's up, sis? I'm saying, nigga, fuck. Like that. That's my answer.
So you've always had a unique style. Are you surprised that people started emulating you? Like when you first saw people dressing like you and building their style off of your style, what did you think?
I think it's about each one teach one, you know? Because we learned this from our elders, and then we finessed it with the gold teeth and all that stuff. And so I think it's really about each one teach one. That's pretty much it. You know, Brooklyn had its style with the Clark Wallabies and the Jamaican look. Queens had its style like a LL Cool J type of African American thing. Manhattan had the money because, the Gucci and Louis right down the street. So it's like a each one teach one type of thing. And then we just incorporate it in ourselves and increase mojo, increase attraction, helps with the mating call. You're studying?
All right, Kiss, you got to pull it together because I got a question for you. So sneaker culture is massive in hip hop. You've mentioned in previous interviews that reselling sneakers might be bigger than illegal activities. Is that a real quote?
Yeah, I think it is.
So why is the sneaker culture such an important fashion trend in hip hop communities?
I don't even really know why it's so big. I don't even know how it got so explosive out of nowhere. Me growing up, you just always wanted to be fresh. You know, we wasn't that fortunate, so you had to get your toothbrush and soap and dish detergent, whatever was your methods to keep your sneakers clean. Then as the world evolved and the game evolved, they became these resellers that started buying up all the sneakers at retail, and then they become hard to find, and then it's like a challenge to find them, and it became like a game. But it also took the young kids off the street from selling drugs and doing a lot of mischievous things, so I thought that was a beautiful thing. And then it became people wanting to buy your whole collection, and you're getting up write-ups and, stuff like that. So I was just glad I was able to purchase some good pieces and hold on to some good things back in the day.
So I got to ask, right? How many pair of sneakers do you own?
Well, recently I just sold about 300 or something to District 1. I still probably have maybe like 400 or 500 or maybe.
I thought you
Well,
were
I'm going to sell all of them in a matter of time. I'm getting tired of seeing them switching to loafers.
I saw you got on the loafers.
I'm ready to go to shoes.
I thought he was going to say in the hundreds. I really did not expect 400. So, and you understand he just sold 300, which means he had 700. So, the math is working. All right, Charlene, I have a question for you. Talk a little bit about how Def Jam artists have been able to influence fashion through their roles in film.
Well, Rick and Kiss mentioned it already. It started just, if I think on the journey for Def Jam, LL with the Kango, even wearing the jeans with the one leg up. The Troops. Chapstick is in fashion, but we know him for chapstick too. Then you can go all the way even to Rockefeller being there, and they had Rockaware, and they even expanded that into liquor. And I think it's just when hip hop gave the essence of these artists to become entrepreneurs, and take what their style was and what they.
You can say it, Charlene. When hip hop says it's cool, it's cool.
That's true. That's right.
He said it.
That's right. Yeah.
And I mean, it's changing not only, the U.S., it's global, because look at Rihanna with Fenty. Yeah. So, I'm supportive and appreciative that our artists are taking these chances and expanding into all of their talents by being fashion forward. We see it with Fabulous. If you ever pay attention to his Instagram, he'll take pictures from his sneakers to his outfits. Like, it's just expanding who they are as people. So it's not only coming through the music, it's identifying them as brands.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So much like fashion, music, TV, and film bring people together and tell us something about who we are collectively. All the films we've discussed so far share a common theme: community, connection, and family. Jeff, What role do you believe film and music play in shaping the portrayal of Black families and community?
I think film and music are critical and have played a critical role. And I want to talk about film for a minute in particular because the visual image is so powerful. And being able to get to a point where we could portray our stories, our communities, and our families. We're just talking about why, Jadakiss said it really well, if hip hop says it's cool, it's cool. But you needed the opportunity to express all of that. So I think, and I do want to tip my hat to the Martha's Vineyard Film Festival here, the African American Film Festival, for even celebrating Black film, because it's still something that's this is still relatively new in the sense that we still have to fight to get our movies and our images out there. Music has been an incredible driver, and I think music has helped film a lot. And again, going back to it's a combination of the power of the music, but also the individuals. You got two great examples here who have been the messengers of the music, which have been very, very important to be able to tell the stories of our families, of our communities, what we're dealing with. And I'm talking about the good and the not so good. I mean, and it's important to portray all of it and have it available. I think growing up in the images that I saw of Black people on television, a lot of them brought to me by Norman Lear, which was okay. I mean, at the time, okay, but we needed to graduate from that and to now have in addition to Black artists who are writers and performers, but also to have Black filmmakers that are allowing Black actors to be able to portray, accurate depictions of our community and our lifestyle is critical.
I agree with that. So Rick, your song Impress the Kid, featured on the Rush Hour soundtrack, brings to life so many things that we're talking about, whether it's community, mentorship, and the responsibility of being a leader. What are messages in that song do you think are important for youth today?
The messages I got from that song for myself was to believe in myself and, know the value of yourself, So I just put it out there. Sometimes it's just for myself, just for fun, you know what I mean? Because that's what hip hop was. It was really not about how the world views you. It's really about how you entertain yourself, enrich your own existence. If the world don't enrich your existence, then you got to enrich your own existence sometimes. Then you bring it to the marketplace and boom, everybody wants a piece. You're studying? So, no diss, fam. That's just how I talk. Yeah, so from what I got from it, my wife played it for me today because I haven't heard it in a while. And I was impressed, my kid. You're studying me?
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Kiss, building off of what Rick just said, talk to us about the pressure that you might feel. Do you feel like you're pressured to be a role model for kids today? And what do you think about the impact that you're having right now on young people that are in the hip-hop game?
I think my big brother said it all. Sometimes it's just you expressing yourself, doing what you want to do, and then when it reaches the marketplace, it fits for something. But today's kids, they got their own impact. They're doing their own thing. But it's always good when there's a message in the music somehow. Like Jeff said, if it's for a good cause or a bad cause, long as there's some message in there some way, it's good for the people and it's therapeutic.
Awesome. Thank you. So let's turn the tables a little bit and talk about the Def Jam's influence overall. At a time where community is more relevant than ever, it's important we discuss the role that Def Jam has played in shifting and shaping the communal narratives around Black culture, identity, and unique lived experiences. So Jeff, as hip-hop continues to evolve globally, how do we promote cultural awareness instead of cultural appropriation through Black art, music, and films?
That's a great question, and it's really interesting. Hip hop is the fastest growing genre of music in the world, And I mean, really.
And it's the youngest, right?
And it's the youngest.
Right.
And it's the youngest. That's exactly right. And it's what you're seeing is what's coming out of Latin America, hip hop. Obviously, there's an explosion in Africa with Afro beats, which is really a derivation of hip hop. And it's amazing how it spread. Def Jam is such a unique company because to be around 40 years, everybody counted Def Jam out from the beginning. Okay, they didn't believe rap was a fad, and frankly, I've been a music executive for over 31 years, and I'm going to tell you, a lot of the music executives couldn't wait for that fad to be over. But guess what? It didn't go away. It only grew. But what was always in the DNA of a company like Def Jam was creative freedom, signing artists that wanted to express what they wanted to express, entrepreneurism. And we were talking about before with whether it's clothing, sneakers, businesses. You look at the artists that have come through that system and built businesses for themselves. And it's also a label that has it's interesting because people are now beginning to see hip hop artists mature. And what we're finding is they mature like a fine wine really, really well. I mean, really, really well. In fact, we were talking just last night about, LL Cool J has a new album coming out, okay? And he hasn't put an album out in 20 years. And, you look at that, and we're at that point where, and by the way, I don't know if you've seen him lately, but the guy could, he's in amazing shape. So it's like, I don't want to mess with that. But he, really, we are blessed to have all of us had the experience, being part of the Def Jam family and to see what it has given to the world and continues to give in terms of all kinds of artists.
And what's interesting about an LL Cool J album is the idea that there are generations of people who don't know that he was a rapper. They know him as an actor because for 20 years he was acting. And so he's bringing a new fan base to his music, which will be incredible.
No question.
Yeah. Charlene, are there any specific initiatives or strategies Def Jam has employed to enhance the cultural impact of hip-hop via cinema?
Well, if we just, even before going into our impact in cinema, if we add on to what Jeff is saying with LL, one of the things he says as he's promoting his new album is that if we look at the Rolling Stones and all of those type of groups, no one ever says they're too old to still go. And so that's what he's showing, is that it doesn't have to stop, right? For Def Jam, it's us taking our artists and embracing them and keeping their dreams. This is what they love to do. And as long as we're the vehicle that can make that happen, we'll stay there to do that. In terms of cinema, it's taking visions like when Rockefeller did Paid in Full, or even when Hype and Nas and X did Belly. It's believing in our artists and giving them the opportunities to expand beyond just the music, because it's all interconnected. Music is a part of film, is a part of fashion. It's just the soundtrack to our lives. So as long as the brand is here and the people that are a part of Def Jam, Jeff, myself, and some in the audience, as long as we're here and we could keep doing that, we will.
Kiss, I feel like you have something to say.
I'm just happy to be here.
I'm waiting on his album, if you want to put him on the spot.
Uh-oh.
Let's keep this at a film festival. Let's not turn this to a Def Jam meeting.
So is it okay for me to ask you how Def Jam has influenced your life?
Oh, I can't even lie. Being a rapper, being an artist, coming from New York, Def Jam is everything. You dream to be on Def Jam. From watching Crush Groove, you just want to be a part of that whole thing. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I could never, even though I have my own personal artist issues, is Def Jam as a whole, what it stands for, what it means. I love it. I love it. I love being a part of the Def Jam family, part of the history. Despite.
Why'd you look at us, man? I know. Like, why you look this way?
Not you, Jeff. It's more triggered towards Charlene today.
He's
good,
here,
Jeff.
though. We
We
see him
good.
here, though, right? I got him here.
I always show up, don't I?
That's truth. That's true.
Yes, it's true.
All right, so I'm going to keep us moving because we're at the end. So our final topic is around American Gangster. Can we watch that clip? Wow, powerful, right?
Nobody owns me, though.
So Def Jam started the way any other successful venture starts, with hustle, grit, drive, and strategy. There are parallels between what we just saw in the American Gangster film regarding what the business looks like on the surface versus the driving forces behind building a successful music career. Rick, people often think that the music industry is all about the glitz and the glam. Not everyone sees all the hard work that you put into building your decades-long career, grinding day in and day out. What would you say to up-and-coming artists about how to succeed and build a legacy for themselves?
Well, I say you have to reach a bar. There's a bar in hip-hop. You study the vets that made a lot of ruckus. That's the bar. You got to be near the bar, above the bar, or a little bit underneath the bar to be successful. And then you got to ride with the family, you know what I mean? Because they in the like the Def Jam family here, like they in the game so they can maneuver you. Like sometimes they got to play pops, maneuver the kid like this, you know? So because they know the upper top, they know the snakes up there, you know what I mean? So sometimes you just gotta take a loss sometime and let pops do what he got to do, you know what I mean, kid? So yeah, like that. So we move and shake like that. Overlook the bad part, like Jadakiss was saying, you know what I mean? Still mom and pop, they gotta drive us, you know what I mean? Park us over here like this. Watch out, Pops is up top angry about something, you know what I mean, kid? Trying to turn nigga cowboy out here, you know what I mean, kid?
Well said.
Jeff, we're celebrating 40 years.
Oh, yeah.
40-year anniversary. So what should we look forward to for the next 40 years? Where do you see the next generation of hip-hop taking the music?
Oh, it's everywhere. You know, first of all, one thing I wanted to shout out, which we haven't talked about, is the ladies. You see what women have done in hip-hop. It's long time overdue, and it's great to see so many women having success right now. So that's, I think, really important. We talked about the globalization. It's coming from all parts. It's coming from Asia. It's coming from Africa. It's coming from Latin America, and it's still very, 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 very alive here in the U.S. So I think that's all incredibly exciting. I did want to address one thing you asked me before, which was appropriation.
Yes.
And I'm going to get in my soapbox for a minute
Do
here.
it.
Just for 1 second. Music is really, really important because music is created by individuals. And so much of what individuals do, and especially in the area of hip hop, people are telling stories that are often representative of their own life and their own experiences. And that's very, very special. And in hip hop, it's very culturally important. And I'm very concerned that we make sure that, I love technology. I got it all. But we got to make sure that if there's technology like AI that's going to sit here and take people's creativity and spit it out through a computer. I don't want a computer giving me a version of a Jadakiss verse or a Slick Rick verse. I want the original. And to that, these artists and their work needs to be respected that way. So I'm off my soapbox now, I'll shut up.
Well, it was an important soapbox because the power of technology can take us to really great heights, but it can also do really scary things. And so we just have to make sure that we're mindful about how we use the technology. So I'm getting every signal. If you knew the number of people who were telling me to shut it down, it's coming from everywhere. And so I'm going to close us out by just sharing a few things. The exploration of these themes through the lens of Def Jam, soundtracks, and films illustrates the transformative power of music in cinema. From addressing social injustice to showcasing the influence of fashion, celebrating Black family life, and highlighting the cultural impact of hip hop. These films and soundtracks have not only entertained, but also educated and inspired. We hope you enjoyed our discussion today. Let's give a big round of applause to our panelists. And let's also give a thank you to the Martha's Vineyard African American Film Festival for highlighting this important topic. And thank you for being a gracious and generous audience. We really appreciate you today. Thank you.